The National Briefing, back on the air with Kelly Nash. And look at me in my suit. This is a $300 suit. I look good in my suit. Have you seen that video yet? The man whose wife gave him a suit for their anniversary, and he goes on about how Charlie Kirk has inspired him to believe in God, and he's going to go to church for the very first time, and he's trying to be a better leader for his family. By the way, I looked that guy up. I linked that video, or I reposted it, I should say, on my Instagram and Facebook stories. So you have like 24 hours or so to see that. If I did it from his page, because most of the versions of it that you're seeing are coming from like social media influencers who are rightly inspired, but wrongly are stealing his content and then putting it out on their page without giving him credit. His name is Robbie something. I got it on my page. Anyway, great video, great. And I could go on for days. We have been going on for days about the impact of Charlie Kirk, but there's other information in the world that needs your attention as well. The illegal immigrant problem in America is a massive problem, and it has not been correctly identified, I don't believe, because there's still so many people who want to keep the illegals here. And the reason they want to keep them here is they want to say the vast majority of them are just trying to chase the American dream. And why can't they have access to the American dream? The short answer that is very cold-hearted is the reason they can't have access to the American dream is because they're not Americans. Americans are being denied access to the American dream. This is disguised as generosity. This is disguised as mercy. This is disguised as empathy, when in reality what you're doing is you are screwing people in America who are on the lower levels of the income brackets or education brackets. They're barely able to make it in America and chase the American dream. Their ability to pursue happiness is being severely impeded by us being awash in illegal aliens who are also trying to chase the American dream, who should not be here. That is compounded by the fact that amongst those illegal aliens, I wouldn't say a majority. I wouldn't even say it's a very slim minority. But the slim minority is dangerous enough to create chaos like this.
Authorities arrested an illegal immigrant from Cuba accused of beheading a hotel manager with a machete in front of his wife and son. It apparently started with a fight over a broken washing machine. ICE says the suspect has a long rap sheet, including child sex abuse and carjacking. The agency says the suspect was released in January under the Biden administration after Cuba refused to take him back.
Oh, my gosh. So 10 days left in the Biden administration. They get the information that we have a child sex abuser in our midst. What should we do? I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt that they actually did contact Cuba and say, hey, one of your citizens is up here sexually abusing children. Take him back. And the Cuba said, no, we don't want him. Okay, what do we do next? What would you do next? Would you not put that guy in prison? I get it. It's a burden to the American taxpayer. American taxpayers shouldn't have to fund this guy's imprisonment. But is there even an option B of just release him? Just put him out there? Let's just see how the cards fall where they may? And apparently they fell with that guy's head. He beheaded a man in front of his family. And then, according to the authorities, he played soccer with the skull of this guy and then picked up the head, laughed in its face, and then dropped it and walked out. Those are the people that Joe Biden and the left are fighting to keep in America. Now, Donald Trump has been very serious about attacking this. He's got ICE going everywhere. He's trying to get cooperation with city mayors. As a matter of fact, one of the big announcements, was it like Friday or Saturday? Recently, a recent announcement was we're going to Memphis. We've got the mayor of Memphis is not thrilled, but he's okay with it. It was the governor of Tennessee who outranks him, who says, I've invited him because Memphis crime rates are I think he said 300% higher than the national average. It's a hellhole. Memphis has become a hellhole. One of the great American cities is being destroyed in front of our very eyes. So thankfully, we have the National Guard that can go in there and help lock things down. So, but I did not know this. This might be news for you as well, that in some parts of the country, there's also a thing called a county mayor. I've never heard of that term. I live in a place where we have county councils. But in this place, Shelby County, which is where Memphis, Tennessee is, the Shelby County mayor is a guy named Lee Harris, who outranks the city mayor. He has control of the county police department, which oversees the city police department. And it's Lee Harris was asked, well, I know you're not thrilled about the National Guard and stuff, but what is the best case scenario?
I don't see any great scenario. I mean, Trump has said in the past that I am president. I can do whatever I want. So there is no good side of this. I think this becomes worse. I think he occupies more cities. And I think we're building up to something that we have never seen before. The best way to make sure that you can stay in office for longer than your term is to make sure that you can repress protests. The best way to do that is with police on the streets. And so the National Guard gives him a foothold to be able to do that in some of the cities where we would protest if he's trying to stay in office longer. So I hate to paint such a dark picture,
I'm sure
but it's just too much evidence at this point.
Yeah,
we can't turn away from it.
All right. Overwhelming evidence now tells me that Lee Harris is a complete moron. Lee Harris is trying to sow fear into his own community that the reason Donald Trump wants to come in and specifically clean up black neighborhoods is so that he will be able to suppress protests against him if he was to, in 3.5 years, decide that he wants to try to go for a third term at age 83. Are you flipping kidding me? And let's just play the long game with you, Lee, you big dope Harris. I bet you the overwhelming majority of people in the inner cities of Memphis and any other city that benefits from having ICE come in and clean up the mess and the National Guard come in and clean up the mess, they would probably overwhelmingly vote for Donald Trump because they had sanity. Maybe for the first times in their lives, they're able to leave their homes and walk to the grocery store or walk to a park without having to be accosted by muggers, drug addicts, prostitutes, and the other. I mean, Lee, you're about my age from the looks of you. You went to school when we still used to actually teach history before we had this revisionist crap that is being taught these days. You remember that it was the National Guard that went into cities like Memphis and cleaned up the mess the Democrats were perpetrating on the African Americans of that time. It was Democrat mayors, Democrat governors who hated blacks in those areas. And what they did was they said, we're not going to give them an opportunity to vote. We're not going to give them an opportunity to ride the bus. We're not going to give them an opportunity to go to school. And it was the National Guard who freed the African Americans of that day. It will be the National Guard that frees the African Americans of these communities today. Get on board, my God, man. Stop trying to perpetrate this fear against sanity. That you are literally fighting against sanity. That's where the Democrat Party is today. I hope that it's been explained well enough that the majority of people who hear this will understand that if Donald Trump wanted to become a dictator, if he wanted to become an authoritarian, he wouldn't start by helping to clean out the African American communities and make it safe for them.